In this video, we'll be talking about the class Chondrochytes and the Osteocytes. In the previous video, we talked about the key features adaptation of aquatic animals to their habitats, and basically we talk about the primary aquatic animals, which is the fishes. And today we'll be emphasizing on the biology of representative of the fishes, as well as the general characteristic of the two classes of fish that we have, which is the Chondrochytes, that is the cartilaginous fishes, and the Osteocytes, that is the bony fishes. But before you get into this class, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and comment if you have any question based on this particular topic or the previous topic that we have done, or even you can comment if you have any video that you want us to work on. Thank you. So moving on to today's class. In the previous class, we talked about the key adaptations of the of aquatic animals to their habitats. So today, the first thing we'll be talking about is the basic characteristics of fishes. You see, fishes have 5 basic characteristics. They exhibit 5 basic characteristics. And the first characteristic is their vertebral column. Remember that they are vertebrates. Because they are vertebrates, they have an internal skeleton. So they have endoskeleton. And this skeleton can either be what? Can either be cartilage or it can be bone. Like the one I'm showing here is a boning, is for a bony fishes. You understand? It's for a bony fishes. So you can see that in this place we have the neural canal, the neural spine, the neural arc, the central, and the emal arc, which is similar to us, which we are also a vertebrate. So fishes have internal skeleton that can be of bony or cartilaginous spine, and this spine they surround the dorsal nerve cord. You understand? And they have a bony or cartilaginous skull that encases the brain, except the jawless hagfishes and lampreys, which are agnathians. Another basic characteristic is jaw and paired appendages. I think we have mentioned that. And we have two paired appendages, which is the pelvic fin and the pectoral fin in fishes. We have the pelvic fin and we have the pectoral fins. And this is one of the basic characteristics of the fishes. You understand? Of the fishes. So another characteristic that they possess is the internal gills. They use internal gills for respiration because they are water dwelling creatures and they must extract oxygen dissolved in water around them. So what they use for extracting the water that is dissolved around them is the internal gills. So they use internal gills to extract oxygen, you understand, dissolved oxygen from the water around them. And these gills can either be in form of gill slits, or it can be covered with a particular structure called the operculum. In what case will it be covered with operculum? In what case will it be a gill slit? That is what we'll be discussing on very soon. Now, another feature is the single circulation. You see, in human and other vertebrates like birds, they have a double circulation, but fishes has a single circulation, which means they have what? They have two chambered hearts. They have two chambered what? Two chambered hearts. And because of these two chambered heart, they have what? They have only single circulation. Unlike the amphibians, the reptiles, and the apes, and the mammals that have three chambered heart and four chambered heart respectively. So this is their heart that is two chambered. One comes from the what? From the gill capillaries, and the other one comes from the other capillaries. And they distribute what? They distribute oxygen that is being extracted from the gills throughout the body through a process of single circulation, unlike the other classes of vertebrate that uses double circulation for what? For their circulation of oxygen. So another basic features is their is their nutritional events. You understand? Now you see, fishes are able to synthesize the aromatic amino acid, and these aromatic amino acids such as phenylalanine, tryptophan, tyrosine, so they can consume them in their food. You understand? So this inability has been inherited by all their vertebrate descendants. Are you getting me now? So this image is showing the fish skeletal system, where we have the caudal fin ray, the iopra, the vertebra, the neural spine, the emal spine. I think I've shown all these ones before. Their ribs, the lower jaw, upper jaw. Like we have already said that they have a jaw. You understand? And remember, I told you that the jaw arises from the mandibular and the hyomandibular arc. I think we have mentioned all those ones in the evolution of jaw and evolution paired appendages. If you have not watched that before, I'm going to drop the link under this video where you can watch the evolution of jaw and evolution of paired appendages. So let us continue. Now, let us talk about the class Chondrochytes. You see, the class Chondrochytes, there are about 1,000 living species of the Chondrochytes. And Chondrochyte is an ancient group that appeared during the Devonian period. So they appeared during the what? During the Devonian what? During the Devonian period. They are ancient group, and they are characterized by the what? By having cartilaginous skeleton. You understand? And the skeleton, the cartilage in their skeleton is reinforced, or it is strengthened by what? By calcium salts. So these are the questions that you can be asked. It is strengthened by what? By calcium salts. And it differs from bone, because bone have phosphate in their mineral matrix and these ones are not having phosphate. However, the chondrochites, they have only 28 species that are living in freshwater, which means most of the chondrochitians, they are marine habitats, though they have freshwater habitat. There are only 28 species, but almost all of them, they are what? They live in marine or saltwater habitats. Now, chondrochites are composed of two main groups, and these two main groups, I think I've mentioned it before, that is elasmobranchii and the holocephalii. So I can just write it here. We have the elasmobranchii and the holocephaly. You see these elasmobranchi, those are the shark, skates, and rays. We have sharks under elasmobranchi, we have skates under elasmobranchi, and we have rays under elasmobranchi. But you see this holocephaly, we have the chimeras. You understand? The chimeras. Those are the holocephalians. You understand? Now let us talk about the basic diagnostic features of the class chondrochites. Now, their body is fusiform, and when they say something is fusiform, it means it is dorsoventrally flattened. You understand? It is dorsoventrally compressed. I get me now. And the caudal fin is heterocercal. You know, we have talked about different type of fins. And how do we know heterocercal fin? We have a fish like this. Sorry, this is not a fish, it is something else. So let us say we have a fish like this, for example, and the fin is like this. I don't really know how to sketch it well, but the fin is like this. That is heterocercal fin. You understand? I'm going to show you an image of that very soon, where you'll be seeing how the fin can be heterocercal. But they have what? The caudal fin, which is the fin at the back, is what? Is heterocercal, or it can be diffecercal. You see, in diffecercal, those are the ones which are holocephali, that is the chimeras, and heterocercal, which is sharks and rays, which I'll be showing you. And they have a paired pectoral and pelvic fin, which means they also have what? They also have a paired appendages. Now, skin is covered with placoid scales of dermal origin. Skins are covered with what? Placoid scales. I've talked about what different type of scales before, and they can also be naked. And when they say naked, it means they have no scales. Skeletons are cartilaginous, we know that already, and notochord are present, but it is reduced. Vertebrate distincts. Now, jaws present with polyphyodont teeth. I'll be showing you their teeth in one of the images that we have here. So this is the teeth of a typical chondrochite, and this is the teeth of the dog fish shark. You understand? This is the fish, or this is the teeth of a dog fish shark. So can you see the type of teeth that they have? So let us continue. Now, brain is well developed, and they have up to 10 pairs of cranial nerves. Up to what? Up to 10 pairs of cranial nerves, and they have sense of smell, vibration reception, vision, electro-repression, and well-developed 3 pairs of semicircular canals, which is always present in their what? In their internal ears. So they have an internal ears. Now, sexes are separate. They have a separate sex, and internal fertilization is with the aid of clasper. They are oviparous or viviparous, and when they say oviparous, it means they can what? They can lay egg. So they are oviparous or viviparous. So they can lay egg and they can give birth to their what? They can give birth to their young ones alive. You understand? And they have a placenta that is nourished with yolk sac. You understand? That is ovoviparity. They can also be ovoviparous. You understand? They can also be ovoviparous. Now, excretory system of excretory system, they have a kidney for excretion. You understand? They have a kidney for excretion, and they have 5 to 7 pairs of gills or gills slits. They have no operculum. They have no operculum, but operculum is present in holocephalii, which is the chimeras. They have no swim bladder or lungs, and heart with they have heart with sinovenous, atrium, ventricle, and conus arteriosus. They have what? They have heart with what? With sinus venous, just like our own vein, sinus venous, the sinus atrium. There is sinus venous and sinus atrium, and they have the ventricle and conus anteriosus. Conus anteriosus. So, and remember I told you that this is the structure in their heart, and it is of what? It is used for what? Single circulation. So they are used for just single circulation. Now, let us now talk about a representative of the class Chondrochytes, and we'll be using what? We'll be using Squalus acanthias, which is spiny dogfish shark. Spiny dogfish shark, which has the botanical name of Squalus acanthias, is the most common shark, and they travel in schools, which means they don't travel alone. They are called dogfish because they travel and hunt in packs, just like the wild dogs. And the body is fusiform, and when something is fusiform, it means it is dorsoventrally what? Dorsoventrally compressed, and they are small but abundant shark. So they are characterized by the presence of spine or spike on the dorsal fin, and that is where they got their name, spining dogfish. So this is what we have. Can you see? This is the dorsal fin, and they have a spine at the end of the fin. That is why they have what? They are called spining dogfish. They have heterosacar tail. So this is their tail, that is heterosacar, something I just said now. They have heterosacar tail, and they possess paired pectoral, see, and what? And pelvic fin. You understand? They have a paired pectoral and pelvic fin. So Squalus acanthias are distinguished by having two spines, one anterior to each of the dorsal fin, and they lack anal fins. They don't have anal fins. So if you see it very well here, they don't have anal fin. And the medial part of the pelvic fin is modified into clasper. So they have something we call clasper. And what do they use clasper for? They use clasper for what? For the reproduction. You understand? They use clasper for copulatory organ. So let me say copulatory organelle. That is what they use clasper for. They have a large eye, and the eye is lidless. They don't have eye. They don't have lid that covers their eyes. You understand? And at the end, at the behind of their eyes, they have a spiracle. The spiracle is present. They have a tough skin that is covered with placoid scales. You understand? I think we have mentioned all those ones before. Now, they are mostly found in coastal waters. This group of animals, this group of fishes, they are mostly found in coastal waters, and both sexes are grayish brown in color. And male are identified by the presence of what? By the presence of clasper. What they use clasper for? Copulation. They use clasper for copulation, which sounds like a penis. You understand? It is modified as sperm transfer organ. Now they get their name acanthias. They got their name acanthias due to the what? Due to the spine that they have at the what? That they have at the dorsal fin. That is where they got their name acanthias, because acanthias means what? Sharks two spines. Now, spiny dogfishes are gregarious fishes, and they form large schools of 100 to 1,000 sharks. So They are called dogfish shark because they hunt in pack, just like what? Just like the wild dogs. And they are voracious predators. So because they are voracious predators, they have developed a very sharp sense. So their sense organ include the olfactory organ. So they have the olfactory organ that is capable of detecting chemical as low as 1 ppb, which is as low as 1 part per billion, and they can locate their prey from a large distance by sensing low frequency vibration with mechanoreceptor in the lateral line system. So they have what? They have a lateral line that is used as mechanoreceptor, which is used for what? For detecting prey from a long distance. You understand? From a long distance. And they also have a mechanoreceptor that extends from the side of their body and over the head. And this mechanoreceptor is known as what? Is known as neuromast. So they have a neuromast. And they use their vision to capture prey at close range. And this eyes is equipped with electroreceptor in their head. And this electroreceptor is known as what? Is known as ampullae of Lorenzi. Ampullae of Lorenzi. And this ampullae of Lorenzi is used for detection of prey that is buried in the sand, which means even if a prey is buried in the sand, they can still detect it using what? Using the electroreceptor in their head called the what? The ampullae of Lorenzi. Now, like I said, they are found to hunt in packs. So what are the things that they feed on? They can feed on squid, they can feed on fishes, which is bony fishes, they can feed on crabs, they can feed on crabs, they can feed on sea cucumber, they can feed on shrimps and other invertebrates. They can feed on shrimps and other invertebrates. And they have upper and lower jaws that is provided with what? That is provided with many sharp teeth, just like this one that you are seeing here. It's provided with what? Many sharp teeth, just like the one that you are seeing here. You understand? So the mouth open into a large pharynx. Now, this is the alimentary canal. I'm going to show you an alimentary canal now. So the mouth open into a what? Into a large pharynx. I get me now. Which contain an opening that separates the gill slits and the spiracle. So the pharynx separate the what? It has an opening that separates the gill slit from the what? From the spiracle. Can you see? This is the gill slit and this is the spiracle. Can you see what I'm just marking now? The gill slit and the spiracle. And they have a short, wide esophagus that runs into a what? Into a J-shaped stomach. They have what? They have a J-shaped stomach. That is what their esophagus leads to. And the liver and the pancreas discharge their contents into a short, straight intestine, which contains spiral valve that allow the passage of food and increase absorptive surface. So they have what? They have liver and they have pancreas. So just like you are seeing here. So it is the liver and the pancreas that is going to release their content into the what? Into the stomach, so that to increase the surface of absorption of this surface of absorption, to enable them to absorb what? To absorb nutrients. And they have what? They have an intestine that is what? That is short. Now they have a rectal gland that is attached to a short rectum. Now, this rectum secretes a colorless fluid containing of I. So this is the rectal gland. Can you see the rectal gland? I'm just marking on this one that I'm just marking here. This is the rectal gland, and it releases a colorless fluid that consists of high concentration of sodium chloride, which is NaCl. Understand? So the this thing is NaCl. So the rectal gland assists the what? It assists the kidney. So look at it. This is the kidney. Can you see that they have the what? They have the kidney, and the kidney is very, very long. Now, what is the name of the kidney that they have? The name of the kidney is called what? It's called opistonephric kidney. Opistonephric kidney. It's called the opistonephric kidney. And this opisthonephric kidney is responsible for regulation of salt concentration in the blood. Now remember that I already told you that their respiration is using what? Is using the gills that is present in the what? That's present in the gill slits. You understand? That is what they use for respiration. And what is respiration itself? Respiration is the absorption of what? The absorption of dissolved oxygen from the water. So they absorb dissolved oxygen from the water by passing water over the gills. It traps the what? It traps the oxygen. And now, how are they circulate throughout the body? Remember, they have 5 gill slits, just like the one that you are seeing here. Just like the one that you're seeing here. 5 gill slits. If you count it very well, we have what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 gill slits. You understand? And remember that I told you that the circulation is what? Is single circulation. So blood leaving the heart enters the capillary bed in the gills. Blood that is leaving the heart, it enters the capillary bed in the gills through the ventral aorta. So absorbs oxygen and it circulates to the rest of the body via the dorsal aorta without re-entering the heart. That is why we call it single circulation. So the blood does not go back to the heart. It moves from the what? It moves from the heart to the gills through the ventral aorta, then move from the gills to the rest of the body through the dorsal aorta. Now, they solve this problem of retaining nitrogenous compound, especially urea and TMO, which is trimethyl aluminum oxide, in their extracellular fluid. And these solutes combined with the blood salts raise the blood solute concentration to exceed slightly that of water. So this is how they maintain the hypotonic, because they live in an hypotonic medium. You understand? So this is how they regulate their body osmotically. You understand? Now, their reproduction. Remember I told you that their copulatory organ is what? Their copulatory organelle is the clasper. We have mentioned that already. So the male inserts the clasper into the female oviduct orifice and they inject sperm along the groove in the clasper dorsal section. Reproduction is aplacenta viviparous. So they are viviparous, meaning that they are ovoviviparous fertilization, and the fertilization is internal. You understand? Because I said a placenta viviparous, it means they are what? They are ovoviviparous. I get me now. And when they say ovoviviparous, it's just like they lay egg and they still hatch the egg inside of them. You understand? Now, after isolation, egg is surrounded by thin shells called the candules, and one candle usually surround several eggs, which means they used to what? They used to lay up to several eggs. They have a lot of eggs, and their mating usually takes place in the winter months, with gestation lasting up to 22 to 24 months. So this is everything that we have to say about the class Chondrochytes. So in the next video we'll be working on the class Osteocytes, which we'll be talking about the bony fishes, and we're using a representative member of the bony fishes. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next class. Thank you so much.